Hey guys, my name's Jason and I want to talk to y'all today about this Ignik Firecan as well as the propane growler. If you live anywhere out west, you're very familiar with the fire bans. Not every single fire ban is going to allow a propane fire pit, but almost all of them will. So I had another fire pit I bought at the beginning of the lockdown when all the fire bans went into place, and that one worked just fine, but it was sort of oddly shaped. It was a bowl and it went back and forth when I was driving, and it also had rocks in it that would just get dust everywhere and make a huge mess. So I started looking into and researching the ammo can style. I really like this style because, for one, it's kind of squared off so you can put things beside it and stack stuff around it when you're in your vehicle, but I just really like the way it's kind of portable and small. So I started researching a bunch of different brands. So when I was looking, I had looked at the Camp Chef and some other ones, but with all of those brands that I was looking at, I always had this in mind, the 5-pound growler from Ignik. So it was kind of an obvious choice that I went with the same brand for both of these because I really liked this as well. So I used to use a lot of these 1-pound ones. This one's still full and I have not used it. You can sort of refill these, and I have in the past. I just don't know that I always feel super safe doing it, and they're really hard to dispose of. You have to puncture them and throw them out, and they're just very expensive. Like, I think one of these now costs about $5, which is the same price it took to fill this up at Ace, which is a 5-pound one. So you can either fill this up for about $4 or $5, or you can buy one of these little ones for about $4 or $5, and then you still have to dispose of them. It has this soft case that goes around it, and it's pretty hard. So if it hits the corner on anything, you know, a huge wreck or something like that, it hits the corner on these. It's soft-sided everywhere but on the top. So it is hard up here, soft on the side. I really like this because if you're off-road and you're kind of bumping around, you don't want this, you know, banging into some plastics and really just kind of messing up your vehicle. So putting it in here with a little carrying case is actually my favorite way of doing this, and I'm really glad that once this bottle is done, I am done with the green propane bottles. And I can just use this for cooking, for fire pits. You know, if I go back to a buddy heater at some point, then I can use this for all of those. Big reason that I went with this one was just because it was compact. So when you fold the legs in, it actually sits really, really close, but it still has these little rubber pieces. So when you fold it up, the base is that nice rubber, so you're not kind of scraping metal on anything. And there were some other brands that were kind of more of the ammo box style. None of them really had the legs like this that came out. Now I thought that was really cool because then the bottom of this is not getting super dirty. The reason I wanted it to stand up is because, let's say, you know, you've got some grass underneath here. You don't want it to be set right on something that's flammable. So getting it up off the ground a little bit is very beneficial. So basically all you're gonna do is pop that open, take this completely out, and just set that down. And then inside of here, you have this right here, which actually has the regulator on it. So I really like that. Did still bring this with me just to show you guys, you know, what this comes with. But as far as this one goes, I probably won't be using this one that much. I will just be connecting directly with this. That way I have a pretty good distance away from the propane tank, and I can kind of regulate how much propane is going into here. So in this you have sort of this H style in here. Now that's where the flames are going to come from. So there actually is an option of buying separately some lava rocks that go in here. When it comes to you know, propane fire pits, I would just put regular rocks in there because there is a chance that they could crack and explode. If you are going to go with the rocks, then I would recommend that you go with either theirs or researching heavily where you buy yours from. Now the reason that people would get rocks to put in here is so that it would be a little bit more like a regular fire pit with the flames. It doesn't really make a difference to me. I just like having a fire and just having sort of a focus point while camping, and you know, if it's cold out, then this will still heat you up. You know, I don't really need the rocks personally, but you can buy them, and I will link those below as well. So another reason I liked it is because this right here is for the sort of like barbecue style lighters. Since you keep these apart, you know, you turn this on first and then you come and light this. I don't know how many times I've burned, you know, this part of my arm hair off from reaching in there and the flame being huge. So being able to come in through here, once you've already have propane running through here, being able to come in and light it through here is really beneficial, because there's really no way in that distance that you're going to burn yourself. So I really like the construction of this. It is sort of that ammo can style. This is a little bit different in that it has these holes on the side so the heat can come out through this way, and also it gives you sort of a more visual look into the fire, which, you know, makes you feel a little bit more like it's a fire pit like this. While there is a fire pit right here that I could be using right now, it is pretty much the dead of summer, and I am in, I believe, Summit County, if not Jefferson, and both of those counties right now in Colorado have fire bans, so I am currently under a fire ban. I actually passed a sign on the way here that said no fire pits. It did say that grills and propane were okay. So if you're curious as to why during a fire ban you can have this but not a fire pit, with a propane fire pit, if you want the fire to stop, you just cut off the supply. So there's no real chance of it growing beyond, you know, this area. If you have a fire pit, which I'm sure all of you guys have used before, first of all, you have to source wood. Either, you know, you might take it from the forest. Personally, if I'm using a regular fire, just buy from gas station or something, I'll just buy some of those. And if I still need it, then maybe I'll take it from the forest. Not only that, but you have to start the fire, which, you know, in some of my other videos, like the winter camping video, you know, you can see how much effort really goes into starting a fire, especially when it's raining. So not only do you have to source it and get the fire started, you also have to make sure that, you know, leaves or anything that get into the fire aren't flying up and hitting any of the trees or going into the forest and causing, you know, fire to spread. And I think the worst part of a fire is that somebody has to put that out at the end of the night. You really have to get in there and take a shovel and bury it. I'm always very strict if I have a fire that I really make sure that it's out. With this, all you have to do is turn off the regulator and you're done. So really all you have to bring if you want a fire is these two things right here, which is likely that you're already going to bring propane anyway to have a grill. So really all you're adding is this right here, which is much smaller than any, you know, logs. This might take up about as much space as a bundle of 2 logs. So it actually is very space saving, super clean, super efficient, and you also don't smell like smoke at the end of the day. So like I said, if you burn it without the ceramic logs or the ceramic rocks, then you know, the flame will just sit here at the bottom, which for me is fine. But if you want a high flame with a really small package, then you could buy ceramic logs or rocks, put those in there, then the flames will come out in sort of more of a dispersed way, kind of randomized like a fire pit would be. Whereas without it, it kind of just comes out, you know, with the little holes there. So I will say the one con to this entire setup here is this little handle. Now I have a lot of stuff in the back here, so it does rattle. At this point, I've just gotten used to it, but this noise right here might not be a lot, but if you're pretty close to stock, or if you've got your stuff down tight where nothing rattles, then this little noise might be annoying to you. But for me, I'm just gonna put some paracord on it and you know, up the overland cred. Lid here shouldn't actually get hot because it is separate from the fire pit. So if I put paracord on here, it's not going to be an issue. Just to give you a little size comparison of the propane, this is the Ignik one right here, obviously, and this is the 1 pound right here. So there is a huge difference in here. Like I said before, I went to my local Ace Hardware, which was, you know, right down the street from me, and this cost $4 to fill up, whereas this by itself is $4. So it's really just the upfront cost of this, and you really don't have to buy this if you have another way of using this, if you like mount it with a, you know, quick fist or something like that. But once you buy this initially, then you've got, you know, $4 refills. This will last obviously 5 times as long as these will. These have to be thrown out every time you use them, and it usually takes about 1.5 of these to run a fire pit while I'm out. So I'll get a ton more uses out of 1 of these. If you have 5 of these, it's going to take up more space than 1 of these. So also another cool thing that I forgot to mention is this is a quick release, so it just pops right on there and pulls right off. You don't have to screw it on every single time. Now, With every propane tank, you will have to screw this on. Now, they also do have different sizes of this growler. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, but there are several sizes, and it also comes in all black. So, you know, if you really want to get that all black look, then you can. All right, guys, so if you want to pick up either of these products, I will drop some links below. You can get this at Amazon, on their website. I believe it's also carried at REI, so I will drop those links below.